Hello students, continuing with unit number 3, sources of financing and cost of capital. In our previous video lectures, we have already seen the sources of financing and we have also seen the basic concepts of cost of capital. Today we will be seeing cost of debenture capital. This is completely based on problems, but before that you need to know certain theoretical aspects. So today we will be dealing with cost of debenture capital, which I have named it as module 3.2b. So what is the meaning of cost of debenture capital? Cost of debentures. When company issues debentures in order to raise funds or to raise finance, what is the cost involved? The cost involved is nothing but the interest that the company is going to pay to the debenture holders. So let us understand, rate of interest payable by a company on the debentures is the cost of capital in case of debentures issued by the company. This we have already seen in our basic concepts of cost of capital. Now, whenever we are going to calculate the cost of capital in case of debentures, there are certain important aspects that one has to consider. First one, cost of debenture is always denoted by KD, where stands for the cost and D stands for debentures. So whenever we are going to solve problems on cost of debentures, we are always going to denote it by KD. So K stands for cost and we are calculating cost of debentures. So D stands for debentures. The next important thing what we need to consider while calculating cost of debentures is taxation is a very important part in finding out cost of debentures, as interest payable is allowed as an expense under Income Tax Act. See, we all know that when the tax is paid on the income of a company, so how is it calculated? It is calculated by minusing all your expenses from your incomes. So, whatever company is going to pay interest to the debenture holders, government is saying this particular expense can be deducted from your income in order to pay tax. So the whatever cost of debentures, like that, in this case it is interest payable to the debenture holders. So that is an expense to the company. When company pays the interest to the debenture holders, it is an expense on a part of a company. So government is saying such an expense is allowed to be minus from the income and then tax has to be calculated on the remaining income. So here cost of debentures is also going to give us the tax benefit. Next, while calculating cost of debentures, the below needs to be considered. See, I am just telling you all the prerequisites before we start solving the sums. Okay, either the cost of debenture can be pre-tax cost. That pre-tax cost means still tax is not calculated on it, and post-tax cost means after calculation of tax. Now in nature debentures can be irredeemable or redeemable. Now what is irredeemable and redeemable we will be seeing in the next very slide. And debentures are issued at par, premium or discount. So, before you start solving any sum on cost of debentures, what are the important things that you need to check? Whether it is pre-cost tax or post-cost tax. First, you have to check for these two. Next, you have to check the nature, whether they are redeemable debentures or irredeemable debentures. Next, you have to check whether they are issued at par or issued at premium or issued at discount. That is debentures issued at. What is all this? We will be seeing in the next slides. So what are the steps? How will you start solving problems on cost of debentures? First, you will see whether in the problem they have asked for whether it is pre-tax cost or post-tax cost. Then you will see whether debentures are irredeemable or redeemable. Then you will check that debentures are issued either at par, premium or discount, because based on these parameters the formulas will change. Based on these parameters the answers will differ. So either it can be a combination of either it is a pre-tax cost irredeemable issued at par, or pre-tax cost irredeemable issued at premium, or pre-tax cost irredeemable issued at discount. So the Solving will accordingly differ, or either it can be post-tax cost, redeemable, par, redeemable premium, redeemable discount. We will be seeing in detail in the further slides. Now, first talking about nature of debentures. As I already told you in the previous slide, debentures can either be irredeemable or redeemable. Now, what is irredeemable debentures? Those debentures which are not repayable at the end of a definite period. See, company if it wants to raise funds, it will issue what? Debentures. So if the company is selling irredeemable debentures means the money what it is receiving against these debentures, company is not going to repay it at the end of a definite period. Usually these debentures are repayable only when the company goes into liquidation. So when I say irredeemable means they are not repayable. Whatever amount is collected by the company against the issue of a particular debenture, the amount is not repayable by the company at the end of any definite period, and it is paid only when the company goes into liquidation. Next, redeemable debentures means those debentures which are repayable at the end of a definite period. Usually in the debenture certificate what is issued by the company, the nature will be specified. Suppose if it is irredeemable, the certificate or the bond of debenture will specify that the amount that has been taken from the debenture holder will be repaid by the company, suppose at the end of 5 years, definite. So 5 years in this case becomes the definite period, or suppose at the end of 10 years, so 10 years becomes the definite period. Definite period is where the period of repayment is being stated. Usually these debentures are payable at the expiry of their term. Suppose after 5 years there is an expiry of their term and debentures will be repayable. That is, amount that has been collected on the debentures will be repayable by the company either at par, premium or discount after the end of 5 years. Such debentures can be redeemable at par, premium or at discount. See, so nature of debentures is clearly understood. Irredeemable means wherein the sum it is not given that the company is going to repay the debentures, then you should understand, consider that it is irredeemable. Where the period of repayment is given means it is redeemable debentures. Is this clear? And pre-tax cost, post-tax cost will be clearly mentioned in the problem, whether the debentures are after tax or before tax. And is this clear? Irredeemable means debentures are not repayable by the company. Redeemable means where the debentures are, where the repayment, when I'm saying redeemable, it means repayment, where the repayment is going to be made by the company within a definite period of time. Now let us see what is par, premium and discount. Debentures issued at par, premium and discount. When I'm talking about issued, I'm not talking about repayment. Here I'm talking about issued. Issued means sold. Okay. So initially, first in order to collect the finance from the debenture holders, you have to issue them the debentures. Now debentures when you're issuing, you can issue it at par, premium or discount. Now what do you mean by par? Suppose a particular company issues the debentures at par. What does it mean? When the amount collected for it is equal to the nominal value, face value of debentures. Now, what do you mean by the face value of debentures? Face value of debentures is also called as the par value or the nominal value, and it is nothing but the value on the face of the security certificate. That is, the value which is shown on the debenture certificate is nothing but the face value or the par value, or you can also say it as a nominal value. So what is the correct worth of that particular debenture? That is nothing but the face value. So when you're collecting the amount, okay, from the debenture holder, which is very much equal, which is equal to the face value of the debentures, it means that debentures are issued at par. So for example, issue of rupees 2000 debenture. The value of the debenture in the debenture certificate is 2000 and you are selling it to the or you are issuing it to the debenture holder at rupees 2000. So it is equal. When it is equal, it is said that debentures are issued at par. So when the issue price is equal to the face value. Here IP stands for the issue price and FP stands for the face value. Now, when do we say that debentures are issued at premium? If debentures are issued at a price more than the face value, it is said that it is issued at premium. For example, if a debenture of rupees 1000, so the face value of the debenture that is written on the certificate is 1000, but you are offering it to or you are issuing it to the debenture holder at 1050 50 rupees extra, so it is said to be that these debentures are issued at premium. So always remember, when the issue price, the price at which you're selling the debentures, is more than the face value, that extra is called as premium, that you have issued the debentures at premium. Next, discount. When debentures are issued at a price which is less than its nominal value, it is said to be at a discount. For example, if a debenture of rupees 2000, so the face value of the debenture is rupees 2000, but it is offered to the public at 1950. So here the issue price, the price at which the company is issuing the debentures, is less than the face value of the debentures, then such difference is said to be that debentures are issued at discount. So there is a discount of 50 rupees. So this, what I'm talking about, par premium discount, it is when debentures are issued, that is sold, offered to the public or to the debenture holders. Okay, so quickly we'll just revise this particular slide. Debentures are issued at par. When it is said that debentures are issued at par, when the face value is equal to the issue price. When it is said to be that issued at premium, when the face value is less, issue price is more. Means you're issuing at a price more than the face value. And when it is said to be issued at discount, when you're issuing it at a price which is less than the face value. Next, debentures redeemed at par premium discount. See, if the nature of the debentures is irredeemable, then this slide plays no role. But here I am talking that where the debentures, the nature of the debentures is redeemable debentures. What do you mean by redeemable debentures? Where they have to be, the amount has to be repaid by the company. The repayment of the amount that is collected at the time of the issue has to be repaid by the company back to the debenture holder after a specified period of time. The period will be specified in the agreement. Now, see, when you're repaying also, it can be repaid. See, when I'm talking about redeemed, it is nothing but repayment. So, debentures can be repaid at either par, premium, or discount. Now, company can either issue it at par premium discount, that is at the initial stage when it is collecting funds, and now when it is repaying funds after a specified period of time, it can either repay it also at par premium or discount. Now what does that mean? Debentures are redeemed at par. It means when the amount repaid is equal to the face value of debentures. Suppose the redemption of 2000 debentures is for rupees 2000. Suppose the face value of the debentures was at 2000. Now you have entered in the agreement with the debenture holders that you're going to repay it also at par. That means whatever is the face value, you're going to repay the redemption value also is going to be equal to the face value. So redemption value is equal to the face value. It is said to be you have repaid it at par. Now when you are repaying it at a price more than the face value, such repayment is called redeemed at premium. Suppose if debentures are issued at 10,000 rupees and it is repaid at 1050. So it is repaid at a value more than the face value. Face value is 1000 and it is repaid at 1050. You are paying extra 50. So when the redemption value is more than the face value, it is said to be repaid at premium. And debentures are said to be repaid at discount when debentures are repaid by a company at a price less than its face value. it is said to be redeemed at discount. Suppose the debentures are issued at 2000 and is repaid at rupees 1950. So the difference is the 50 rupees, which is nothing but the discount. That is, debentures are repaid at a discount. Actually, at the time of issue, it collected 2000 rupees. Now, when you're repaying only 1950. So it is said to be that the debentures are repaid or redeemed at discount. Next, once we have already understood pre-cost, post-cost, pre-tax cost, post-tax cost, once we know what is the nature, once we know whether they are issued at par, premium, discount, accordingly we will select the formula in order to calculate cost of debentures. So here, cost of irredeemable debentures pre-tax. Pre-tax means before tax. Okay, so what is going to be the cost of irredeemable debentures before tax? When the word pre-tax or before tax comes, please keep in mind that tax will not come into picture. When it is before tax or pre-tax, then tax won't come into picture. So when I'm talking about cost of irredeemable debentures, which means that these debentures are not repayable by the company. So there is going to be no repayment. Okay. Second thing is repayment is going to only happen at the time of liquidation, but now we will not see that part. We will see that these debentures are not at all repaid by the company. So what is the cost? How to calculate the cost of it? So the cost of debentures. First of all, you will tell me what is the cost of debenture? It is nothing but I. I is nothing but the interest. Okay. Interest payable divided by net proceeds. Net proceeds are nothing but price at which the debentures are sold. Now already in our previous slides I told you all that debentures can be either sold at par, premium or discount. Okay, into 100. Always remember cost of debentures, let it be redeemable, irredeemable, let it be pre-cost, pre-tax, post-tax. It is always to be denoted in percentage. That is the reason we are multiplying this by 100. In every formula ahead also you will see it is into 100 because we are deriving the cost in terms of percentage. That is why we are multiplying it into 100. And here KD stands for cost of debentures. So what is the formula for cost of irredeemable debentures in case it is a pre-tax? It is cost of debentures is equal to interest divided by net proceeds into 100, where I stands for interest payable, N stands for net proceeds. Now what is the meaning of net proceeds? Price at which debentures are sold. Remember, whether the debentures are issued at par, premium, discount, this formula remains the same, but calculation of net proceeds differ. So how are you going to calculate net proceeds in case when the debentures are issued at par? Face value of debentures minus expenses on issue. See, what do you mean by expenses on issue? Many a time when company is issuing debentures, it will obviously have certain expenditures at the time of issuing, like brokerage, underwriting, commission. These all flotation cost. All these are expenses that a company incurs when it is issuing the debentures. So what is meaning of net proceeds? If it was gross proceeds, it would just be face value of debentures. Now it is net proceeds. Net proceeds means whatever is the face value of debentures minus the expenses on issue, which is also called as flotation cost. Expenses on issue is also called as flotation cost. So we get the net proceeds in case where the debentures are issued at par. Now where the debentures are issued at premium, what is going to be the net proceeds? It is going to be face value of debentures. See, premium means you are collecting an amount which is more than the face value. So what you are going to do here, face value of debentures plus the premium that you are collecting on the issue of debentures minus the expenses on issue. And when the debentures are issued at discount, what is going to be the net proceeds? Face value of debentures. When it is said to be that it is issued at discount, when you're collecting an amount that is less than the face value. So obviously face value of debentures minus discount on issue of debentures minus expenses on issue, that is also called as issue expenses, brokerage, underwriting, commission, etc. So is this slide clear? When you have to use this formula, first of all, first you have to see whether it is pre-tax or post-tax. So if it is pre-tax and if the nature of debentures is irredeemable, you're irrespective whether it is issued at par, premium, discount, you're going to use this formula. But in order to calculate net proceeds, you have to see whether they're issued at par, premium, discount, because the formula to calculate net proceeds differ accordingly. So quickly we'll revise. KD stands for cost of debentures, which is equal to I divided by NP into 100, where I is interest payable, N is net proceeds, price at which debentures are sold. Now, if it is issued at par, what is going to be the formula of NP? Face value of debentures. They are telling net proceeds, not gross proceeds. So, you have to minus the expenses, issue on expenses, sorry, expenses on issue. And if it is on premium, you know it is more than the face value. So, add the premium first and then deduct the issue expenses. And if it is discount, then you know it is less than the face value. Then first minus the discount and then minus the issue expenses. Next. Next is the cost of irredeemable debentures if it is post-tax. So if it is post-tax, the formula for all the three remains the same. Only you have the additional thing in the formula of the previous slide and this slide is only you have to multiply it 1 minus t, where t is nothing but the applicable tax rate. So suppose if the applicable tax rate is 50%, it will be 1 minus 0.50 because 50% is 50 divided by 100, where it is 0.50. So cost of irredeemable debentures post tax, for if it is issued at par, premium, discount, the formula remains the same. I is nothing but the interest payable divided by NP, that is the net proceeds, that is the price at which the debentures are sold, into 1 minus t and into 100. Why we are multiplying into 100? Because cost of debentures is always represented in percentage, that is why we are multiplying with 100. So this is the only additional factor because it is post tax. Okay, now how do you calculate NP in case of par? We have already seen in the previous slide, so let us revise. It is a face value of debentures minus expenses on issue expenses. Next, premium. So you have to take the face value of debentures plus you have to add the premium and minus the expense issue expenses, which is also called as flotation cost. Now discount, how do you calculate NP in terms of discount? It is nothing but face value of debentures minus the discount and minus the issue expenses, that is expenses on issue, and interest payable will remain the same for all this. Now how do you calculate interest payable? Always keep one thing into mind, that interest is always calculated on the face value. This is very important in all the formulas of cost of debentures. Interest, whatever you're going to pay, that is always calculated on the face value. The percentage of interest will be specified in the problem. You have to just multiply it with the face value. The percentage has to be calculated on the face value. Next, cost of redeemable debentures, that is before tax. When it is before tax means it is pre-tax. If it is pre-tax means tax will not come into the picture at all. Means in the formula T, that is a tax will not come into the picture at all. So when I say redeemable means what? Means the repayment is going to happen. So here one additional thing what is going to happen is there is going to be RV. RV is nothing but the redemption value. Redemption value is nothing but the repayment value. Why? Because it is redeemable debentures and after a definite period of time the debentures has to be repaid. So debentures can be redeemed either at par, premium or discount. Now when the formula for calculating KD. KD is nothing but cost of debentures is equals to I. I is nothing but the interest payable plus RV minus NP divided by N. N is the number of years, that is the definite period after which the debentures are going to be repaid. Suppose I issue an debentures for a period of 5 years, repayable after 5 years. So here 5 stands for the number of years in which the debentures are going to be repaid. RV stands for the redemption value, that is the repayment value or redeemable value. N stands for net proceeds, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2. into 100. Why into 100? Because debentures, cost of debentures is always calculated as a percentage. That is why we are multiplying the formula into 100. So what is the formula? I plus in the bracket RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 100. Now, based on this formula, the debenture, the RV value and the NP value will be changing based on whether it is issued at par, premium or discount. But interest will remain the same because I already told you all that interest is always calculated on the face value. So only which figures will be changing depending on par, premium, discount, RV figures and NP figures. So you all know NP. In case of par, what is the NP value? It is nothing but the face value minus the issue expenses. In case of premium, what is going to be the NP? If the debentures are redeemed at premium, what is going to be the NP? It is going to be the face value plus premium minus issue expenses on issue. Next, if it is on discount, it is going to be RV. It is going to be face value of debentures minus the discount and minus the expenses, issue expenses. Now, next, RV. RV also is going to change depending whether the debentures are redeemed at par, premium, discount. Now, RV is nothing but the repayment value. Now, when the debentures are repaid at par, what is going to be the RV? It is going to be same as the face value. Next, at premium, what is going to be the RV? It is going to be the nothing but the face value plus the premium. And in case of discount, it is going to be face value minus the discount. So it is going to be RV. So RV also is going to be changed accordingly depending on whether the debentures are issued at par, premium or discount. So if it is par, it will equal to the face value. If it is premium, it will be more than the face value. So RV will accordingly change, and discount then less than the face value. So face value minus discount will give you RV in case of discount. N stands for number of years, that is for number of years, that is a definite period of years after which the company is going to make the repayment of debentures. Okay, so how are you going to solve this? First, always solve like RV minus NP divided by N. After solving this part, add it to interest. After adding it to the interest, then solve the denominator first. Denominator is RV plus NP divided by 2. First solve this part. Then the numerator, first solve complete numerator, then the complete denominator, and then multiply by 100. Now, cost of redeemable debentures after tax. Now, what do you mean by after tax? After tax means where the tax is already considered. So after tax. So when the word after tax is used, means there is going to be a tax into the picture. So the formula remains the same as it is in the previous slide in the pre-tax. That is I plus in the bracket RV minus NP divided by N, and the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2. First solve the numerator, then the denominator. And only change in the formula is you have to multiply this by 1 minus T. T is the applicable tax rate which will be given in the problem, and then multiply. Lastly, you have to multiply by 100. Why? Because you're calculating cost of debentures, which is always specified as a percentage. And this step is always going to be happening at the end. Whatever answer you're getting, you have to multiply it by 100. So first solve the numerator. Okay, then solve the denominator. Then divide the numerator with the denominator. Then multiply with 1 minus t, and then multiply it with 100. So here again interest will remain same in all the three cases. Only what will change? RV will change depending whether it is repayable at par, premium, discount, and NP will change depending whether it is issued at par, premium or discount. Now let us have a quick recap of the formulas for calculating KD. Okay, first you have to see whether it is before tax or after tax. Once you have seen that, you have to see whether the debentures are irredeemable or redeemable. Now, if the debentures are irredeemable means where RV is not going to be there, redemption value is not going to be there, repayment value is not going to be there. Why? Because irredeemable itself means that the debentures are not repayable by the company. So when there is irredeemable debentures and if it is before tax, the formula is I divided by NP into 100. I will remain same irrespective it is issued at par, premium, discount, because interest is always payable on debentures is always calculated on the face value of debentures. Next, after tax means the formula of before tax remains as it is, only you are going to add multiply it with 1 minus t. T is nothing but the applicable tax rate. Here again the applicable tax rate will remain same whether it is issued at par, premium, discount. Interest will remain same whether it is issued at par, premium or discount. Only what will change, NP, depending on par, premium and discount, the NP will change. Next, when it is redeemable debentures, redeemable means where the debentures are repayable by the company. So where the debentures are repayable by the company, there is going to be one additional repayment value or redeemable value. So what is the formula? KD is equal to I plus RV minus NP the whole divided by N whole divided by RV plus NP the whole divided by 2 into 100. First solve the numerator, then solve the denominator and then divide the 2. Now after tax means tax is going to come into the picture. The formula remains same as it is like before tax, but only you have to multiply it with 1 minus t and the final answer has to be multiplied by 100 because you are going to show it as a percentage. So is this clear? So now we can proceed ahead with solving problems on cost of debentures. Okay, so let us come to problem on first irredeemable debentures. Now, first of all, tell me what is irredeemable debentures. Since we are initially starting, this is our first problem, so I have specified that this problem is on irredeemable debentures. In exam, they will not specify. So, irredeemable debentures are those debentures that cannot be repaid, okay, are not repayable by the company. So, first question is, Arihant company has 10% perpetual debt of rupees 1 lakh. Now, what do you mean by perpetual? The meaning of perpetual means it is not repayable. So when it is perpetual, not repay, perpetual means forever, forever, and it is not repayable. So it means that this sum is on irredeemable debentures. So they have issued an irredeemable debentures of 1 lakh. Okay, how they have issued it? 1000 debentures of 100 each. So when you multiply 1000 with 100, you will get 1 lakh. So what they're telling, determine the cost of capital before as well as after tax. Tax rate is 35%, assuming the debentures are issued at par or 10% discount and 10% premium. So what is the question stating? First of all, perpetual debentures. So first you have to keep in mind, if it is, the nature of debenture is what? Irredeemable. Second thing they're telling us to calculate before tax, after tax. Now what is going to be the formula? Then let us see the solution. Since the debentures are irredeemable, the formula for KD, before tax, what is the formula? I divided by NP into 100 and after taxes I divided by NP into 1 minus T into 100. So first, before we solve the solution, we should know what is the value of I, what is the value of NP. Once we know what is the value of I and NP, it is going to be easy for us to solve the solution. So before that, we do a working note. So first we want what is the value of interest payable. So interest payable is nothing but 10% of 1 lakh. See, when they say where will be the interest rate specified, always remember interest rate will be prefixed before the name of the debenture. So when they say 10% perpetual debenture means the rate of interest on the debenture is going to be 10%. So the rate of interest is always going to be prefixed before the word of debentures. So it is 10% perpetual debentures. And you know interest is always calculated on the face value. So what is the face value of 1 lakh? So 10% into 1 lakh is nothing but 10,000. So we have got the interest payable. Next we have to, since in the questions it is given that the debentures are issued at par, 1, second premium. So in first A situation it is at par, B situation it is at discount, 10% discount, and C it is 10% premium. So they're telling us to calculate in all the cases. So let us see where the debentures are issued at par. So what is going to be the NP? Face value of debentures issued minus expenses on issue. This is a formula which we have already seen in our previous slides. So it is going to be 1 lakh rupees, that is the face value of debentures, here given 1 lakh, okay, minus expenses on issue. Now in the problem, since no sentence or no information about the expenses is given, it is going to be 0. So 1 lakh minus 0 is 1 lakh. So we got NP in case of par. Now NP in case of discount is, what is the formula? NP is face value of debentures minus the discount minus expenses on issue. Now always remember, discount is always discount and premium. These both are also going to be calculated always on the face value. So face value is 1000 minus discount is specified in the problem as 10% discount. So you're going to take it as 10% into 1 lakh. Why? Because discount and premium is always going to be calculated on the face value. Minus expenses on issue, because there is no expenses on issue. So 1 lakh minus 10,000 is nothing but 90,000. So we got NP in case of discount. Now issued at premium. So what is the formula? Face value of debentures plus premium minus expenses on issue. So what is a percentage of premium? Here also they have given that 10% premium. So it is 1 lakh plus premium is always calculated on the face value. So 10% of 1 lakh minus 0. So 1 lakh plus 10,000 is 100, and 1 lakh 10,000 in is the NP in case they are issued at premium. Now in case of after tax will be only tax rate will be applicable. So they're telling 35%. So that amounts to 0.35. Now once we have known the particular elements, like what is the value of I, what is the value of NP in all the three cases, what is the value of I, NP and T in all the cases, now it becomes easy for us to solve the problem. So coming ahead with the answer. Final answer is debentures issued at par, discount, premium. They want both for before tax, pre-tax and after tax, post-tax. So first we have to write the formula. KD is nothing but I divided by NP into 100 if it is before tax, and if it is after tax it is nothing but I divided by NP into 100, or you can do 1 minus T into 100. So either of it will be the same. It can be 1 minus T into 100. It is going to be the same. So par. So par, we know interest we have already calculated in our working note. As per our working note, the interest is how much? 10,000, and that remains same for all the interest remains same for all the situations. Either it is at par, premium, discount. So 10, 10, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Only what is going to change? NP. If it is par, just let us see fast. If it is par, the NP is 1 lakh. If it is discount, NP is 10,000. If it is premium, the NP is 1 lakh 10,000. So accordingly, write the NP. In case of par, it is 1 lakh. Discount 10,000, 90,000. Premium, it is 1 lakh 10,000. Accordingly, you can write it out after tax also. And then you're going to multiply only after tax with 1 minus T. So 1 minus 0.35. So if you solve it, 10,000 divided by 1 lakh into 100, you will get 0.10 into 100, that is 10%. So accordingly, we have solved these also. So here we have got an answer. Debt issued at par. Before tax, the answer is cost of debentures is 10%. After tax, it is 6.5%. Similarly, discount before tax it is 11.11%. Here it is 7.22%. And here it is 9.90%, and after tax it is 5.91%. Now moving ahead to next sum. Problem on redeemable debentures. See, whatever problems I have covered in my video lecture, I have covered all the possible situations. So I have considered all the cases, par, premium, discount. So some problems I will be giving you all for practice also. So let us see the second problem. The second problem is Shine Limited issued 10% debentures. When the percentage is prefixed to the word debentures, it means this percentage is the rate of interest. Always remember this. Of face value of 1000, okay, that is redeemable at par after 10 years. So when redeemable means there is repayment happening, and after 10 years means 10 is n. N is nothing but the number of years after which the repayment is going to happen. Assuming 55% tax rate and 4% flotation cost. Now what is tax rate? You all understood is 0.55, and what is flotation cost is nothing but expenses on issue. So 4%. Always this is also going to be calculated on the face value. Determine the cost of debentures if debentures are issued at par, premium and discount. So here they have told that redeemable at par. So in all these three cases, the redemption is going to happen at par. So let us first thing what we have to do is see which formula will be suitable for this particular problem. So here they are not specifying it is pre-tax or post-tax. So we assuming 55% tax rate. So we consider this problem to be post-tax because they are writing here 55% tax rate. So solution, since the debentures are redeemable, the formula for KD will be, and since tax rate is given and clearly it is not specified pre-tax or post-tax, but the tax rate is given, so we assume it to be as post-tax. So what is the formula? Since the debentures are redeemable, the formula for KD will be nothing but I plus RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 1 minus T into 100. Now, after determining which formula, we have to calculate the value of all these variants. So first, we calculate the interest. Interest, as I already told you, will be always calculated on the face value. So 10% of 1000. So 10% of 1000 is rupees 100 because interest is always calculated on the face value. Now, calculation of RV. Now, here in all these three cases, either it is par, premium or discount, it is redeemed at par only. So, the redemption value is at par. So, in this case, debentures are redeemed at par. So, when debentures are redeemed at par, what is going to be the RV? RV will be equal to the face value of debentures. So, what is the face value of debentures? It is rupees 1000. Next, net proceeds will change. Net proceeds in case it is issued at par, what it is? Face value of debentures minus expenses on issue. So 1000 minus 4% was we saw flotation cost expenses on issue, and I already told you that this 4% is always going to be calculated on the face value, that is nothing but 1000. So we have 4% of 1000, that is nothing but 40 rupees. So 1000 minus rupees 40 is 960. When they are issued at premium, NP is nothing but the face value of debentures plus premium minus expenses on issue. So it is 1000 minus premium. Premium is always calculated on face value. In this case, face value is 1000. So 10% of 1000 minus 4% into 1000. This is flotation cost. So 1060. This issued at discount. What is the formula to calculate NP? Face value of debentures minus discount minus expenses on issue. So 1000 minus 10% of 1000 minus 4% of 1000. You get 860 rupees, and tax is 0.35%, that is 0.35. So what is going to be the final answers? Once we know all the variants, once we know all the values, it will be very easy. We have to just substitute the values into the formula. So what is the formula? I plus RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 1 minus tax rate into 100. Now, if it is issued at par, case number 1, what was I? I was 100, because see based on the working notes I am determining I is 100, redemption value is 1000, and net proceeds in case of par is 960, at premium 1060, and discount is 860. So accordingly I just substituting the formulas, substituting the values in the formulas. So 100 plus 1000 is the RV year, 1000 is the RV year, 1000 is the RV year, 100 is the interest. Now minus NP. If it is par, the NP is 960 960 divided by 10 because number of years is 10 and the whole divided by 2 into 1 minus 0.55 into 100. I'll just show you all how this solving is done. First, always solve this portion which is there in bold. So 1000 minus 960 divided by 10. So 1000 minus 960 is gives you how much? 40. 40 divided by 10 is 4. So always calculate this portion here. Write here 4 plus 100 plus the interest. So this is we are solving the numerator. So plus interest is nothing but 104. So 104 you solve the numerator and divide it with the denominator. So 104 divided by 980 gives you how much? 0.1061. Once you divide this two, then multiply with the tax rate. Now what is the tax rate? See here, what is the tax rate? Into 0.45. So you got 0.0478. The last step is to multiply by 100 because in last we want it in the form of percentage. That is why we are multiplying it with 100. So always remember, first solve the portion till here, then add it with the interest, then you get the numerator, divide it with the denominator. Now how do you calculate the denominator? We did nothing but 1000 plus 960 divided by 2. It is gives you 980. Then once the numerator is divided by the denominator, then multiply with the tax rate, and the last step is to multiply it with 100. Similarly, we have done for premium. You all can go through it, and for discount. See, in solving in the final solution, we have just substituted the figures that we have calculated in the working note in our formula. Now the last is one last sum I have done. After that, there is a sums for practice for you all. Suzy Limited issues. Here I have not specified whether it is redeemable, irredeemable. Okay, so we will find out. Suzy Limited has issued 12% debentures of face value 100. Now what is the meaning of 12%? When any amount percentage is specified before the word of debentures means this is the interest rate that is payable. So 12% is the interest rate. Face value is 100 and it is actually the face value is 100 but they are receiving how much? 95 rupees per debenture. The debentures are redeemable at after 10 years at a premium of 10%, income tax is 50%, calculate cost of debentures. First thing, it is a redeemable debenture, so the formula will be different. Here the tax rate is given, therefore we will assume it to be post-tax. So we know that, and now what we have to check is the face value of the debentures was 100, but when we received the value against it, we received 95. So is the debentures issued at par, premium, or discount? Obviously, it is issued at discount because the face value, because the issue price is less than the face value. So the discount is of 5 rupees. Here directly they have given that is 95 rupees is the issue price. That is net proceeds. So what is going to be the formula? KD is equals to I plus RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 1 minus T into 100. How do you calculate interest? Interest is always calculated on the face value. So 12% into 100 is rupees 12. Now we require the redemption value. Now it is redeemed at premium. So when it is redeemed at premium, what is the formula? Face value of debentures plus premium. Face value is 100 plus 10% of 100 is 110. How do you calculate net proceeds? Net proceeds means the amount, the issue price. So here it is sold at 95, it is directly given. So net proceeds is 95 directly given. Tax rate is 50%. So you are just going to substitute all the figures that we have derived through the working note in the formula. That is 12 is the interest rate plus RV minus NP divided by N. So first you're going to solve this. Then you're going to add with the interest and then divide it by 110 plus 95 divided by 2 will give you 102.5. First solve the numerator with the denominator, then multiply with the tax rate, and then last multiply it with 100. Here there was only one situation. In the previous two questions there was par, premium, discount. That the reason being I had wanted to cover all the scenarios, but sometimes scenarios can come only individual scenarios. So here it was issue at the debentures were issued at a discount but redeemed at a premium. So depending on the combination, you have to, the RV and the NP will change. Next is two sums are for practice, but I'll just discuss with you all. A company issues debentures of rupees 10 lakhs, 10% debentures. Now 10% means the rate of interest at a discount of 5%. So they are issuing it at a discount of 5%. Discount is always calculated on the face value. Face value is 10 lakhs. Flotation cost is 30,000 directly given. Debentures are redeemable after 5 years. Calculate before tax and after tax cost of debentures assuming tax rate to be 50%. So is it redeemable or irredeemable debentures? First of all, it is a redeemable debentures. N is 5 years. Okay. Now RV and NP will change. Now RV year, it is not specified that whether they are redeemed at par, premium, discount. So if nothing is specified in the problem, always assume it that it is redeemable at par. So par means 10 lakh rupees. Now they want before tax and after tax. So if it is after tax, you have to consider 1 minus 0.50. Now what is going to be NP when it is issued at discount? What is going to be the NP? It is going to be the face value of debentures minus the discount minus 5% of 10 lakhs minus the flotation cost, that is 30,000. So you get the answer. Which formula you are going to use? Interest rate plus RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2. If it is before tax, the formula remains still here. If it is after tax, you're going to multiply by 1 minus tax rate into, and the last answer you have to just multiply it with 100 because you're going to show in the terms of percentage. Next, a company issues 10% debentures. Here 10% stands for rate of interest of 100 each. 100 each is nothing but the face value at a premium of 10%. So they are issuing at a premium of 10% on 1/4/17 to be matured on 1/4/22. So they are going to collect the money on 1/4/17, but they are going to repay it on 1/4/22. So what are the number of years? Number of years are 5 years. From 1/4/17, that is 17/18, 18/19, 19/20, 20/21, 21/22. So totally 5 years. So N is to be taken as 5 years. The debentures will be redeemed on maturity, that is on 1/4/2022. Calculate the cost of debentures assuming 35% as the tax rate. Now since it is not given, we have to calculate pre-tax, post-tax, but since tax rate is given, we are going to calculate it as post-tax. Now what is going to be the RV in this case? RV, the debentures are redeemed on maturity, nothing is mentioned. So RV is always going to be the face value, that is issued at par. Now what is going to be the NP? NP is issued at premium of 10%. So here they're telling issued at premium. So how are you going to calculate the NP? It's nothing but the face value plus the premium of 10%. Premium is always calculated on face value minus the flotation cost. Flotation cost is not given, so only 100 minus 10% of 100 will be nothing but the NP. So accordingly we will get the answer. Now we have completed the module 3.2b, that is cost of debenture